Now, I have a question for you. How do you make that? How do you make that? Well, that is the title of today's lesson. How do you make that? Now, yesterday, we talked about how to make sandwiches. How do you make sandwiches? Well, you take some bread, you take vegetables, meat, mayonnaise, mustard, put it together, and you have a sandwich. But how do you make other things? We're going to learn words today to help you talk about how to make different kinds of food. So let's begin. Please open your magazine to today's lesson and let's go.
Carol, remember our party last weekend? I really liked your dish.
Oh, my sweet and sour hot dogs.
Yes. How do you make them?
They're easy. You just need 3 ingredients: grape jam, mustard, and hot dogs.
What? Really?
Yes, you mix the jam and mustard in a pot on the stove.
Do you boil it?
No, just make it hot.
Now, people often bring a dish to share with people at a party, and Carol did this last weekend. What dish did Carol bring to the party, Gabe?
She brought sweet and sour hot dogs. Now, Andrea, I have never had sweet and sour hot dogs, but I really want to try Carol's sweet and sour hot dogs. They sound delicious.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They sound delicious.
Yeah, don't you think so, Andrea?
Well, not really, but I would like to look at our key words together. Carol tells us that her dish is easy to make. You mix the jam and mustard in a pot on the stove. So you mix jam and mustard. Now, when you mix 2 or more things, you put them together. When you are cooking or preparing food, you often mix different ingredients.
That's right. Now, sometimes you can mix something together, but then you can take those things apart. Like if you mix a salad, you mix the lettuce, and you mix the cheese, and you put some tomatoes in there, or something else. But you can take those things apart. Now, if you mix something like grape jam and mustard, you can't take them apart. So this is another kind of mixing. You mix these things together, and I think it should taste pretty interesting.
Well, there are only 3 ingredients, and an ingredient is what you need to cook something. So you mix the jam and the mustard in a pot on the stove, but do you boil it? No, you don't. When you boil something, you make it very, very, very hot. When it boils, it starts to bubble. When something boils, it is over 100 degrees Celsius.
That's right. Now, should you boil the grape jam and mustard? No, don't let it get that hot. You should just make it pretty hot, but don't burn it. You don't want to burn your sweet and sour hot dogs.
But we do want to keep learning, so let's look at Conversation B.
Good. I often burn things when I boil them.
I do too.
Okay, so what do you do after the jam and mustard are hot?
Just put in the hot dogs and mix.
Great. That is easy.
You could also mix everything together first, then put it in the microwave for a few minutes.
That's even easier.
Well, yes, the microwave does make things easier sometimes. Well, at the beginning of this conversation, Lily says, I often burn things when I boil them. Burn. That's one of our key words. If you burn something, that means you let it cook for too long.
And when you burn something, you can usually know that you burned something because of the smell. When food burns, it doesn't smell very good, and you often see something black on the food.
So you might burn food. Other things burn too. Coffee does not taste very good. Don't drink burnt coffee. What else can burn? Well, a fire burns, right?
That's true.
Yeah, and paper burns. So the smell of paper after it burns is very unique. It's very special. Everything has a different smell when it is burning. Well, friends, at the end of this conversation, Carol says you could also mix everything together first. You could also do something else. You can use this phrase in another way. You can take the train to work. You could also take the bus.
You can send Susie an email. You could also call her on the phone.
You can learn by practicing your key words every day. You can also learn by practicing speaking with somebody else in English. Well, right now it's time for us to continue with Conversation C.
You brought some dumplings to the party. They were delicious.
Oh, thanks.
How did you make them? Did you fry them in a wok?
No.
Did you steam them?
No, I didn't.
Did you bake them? Can you bake dumplings?
No, I don't think so.
Well, how did you make them?
I didn't make them. My mom did.
Well, we know that Carol brought sweet and sour hot dogs to the party, and Lily also brought something. What did she bring? She brought dumplings, and Carol said they were delicious. Now, if something is delicious, it tastes very, very good. So the dumplings were delicious, and Carol wants to know more about how to make them. So she asks a question. She says, did you fry them in a wok? Fry and wok are key words. Gabe, can you help us with fry?
Of course. I like to eat fried food, so I will help with this key word. When you fry something, you heat it up, you cook it, but actually it's not that healthy to fry things. You use oil a lot of times when you fry something, and things can taste delicious when they are fried, but they're not always good for you.
That's true. Well, when you fry food, you can use a wok, and that is also a key word. A wok is a kind of pan that you use to cook food. You can use it to fry food because you can put oil in the pan. A wok is usually used when you cook Chinese or Asian food.
Okay, well, Lily didn't fry dumplings in a wok. She did not steam them. And no, she did not bake these dumplings. But bake is a key word, right, Andrea?
Yes. Now, when you bake something, you put the food in an oven. It cooks in the oven. Now, you can't bake everything. We learned that you can't bake dumplings, but you can bake cakes, you can bake cookies, you can bake pie, you can bake many delicious things. Now, we know that Lily did not bake the dumplings. She did not fry them. She did not steam them. What did Lily do?
Lily enjoyed the dumplings, but she did not make them. Her mom made the dumplings.
Yes, and I'm sure they were delicious. Well, let's keep learning now with our friend Ginger.
cooking something special.
Oh, what are you cooking, Ginger?
I'm cooking banana hot dogs.
Oh, banana hot dogs. How do you make those?
First, I mix the ingredients.
The bananas and the hot dogs?
Yes, I mix them together. Then I boil it.
You boil it?
Yes, after I boil it, I fry it.
You fry the hot dogs and bananas?
Yeah, and after I fry it, I bake it.
Oh, you bake it.
Yeah, so that's what I do. I mix it and fry it and bake it.
And then you eat it, right?
No, then I give it to you to eat.
No, thank you.
Aww.
Let's review today's key words together. Please say them with us. Mix. Mix. Mix the butter and sugar together first.
Boil. Boil. Boil the water, then put in the spaghetti.
Burn. Burn. Watch the food while you are cooking so you don't burn it.
Fry. Fry. Fry the chicken until it is brown.
Wok. Wok. Stir fry the vegetables in the wok.
Bake. Bake. Mom bakes many things in the oven, and we need to take a break right now.
你人生第一次背着包包去旅行是什么时候？走，背着包包跟他们一起去旅行。
Keywords.
In one sentence.
That is right. Oh, I love this game. Now, I will begin. I'm thinking about today's key words, and I have a 2-in-1 sentence. Sarah fried rice in the wok.
Ooh. Sarah fried rice in the wok. Well, the key words are fry and wok. Very nice, Andrea. Okay, here's my 2-in-1 sentence. Corey burned the cake he was trying to bake.
Oh no! Corey burned the cake he was trying to bake.
Yeah.
Oh, but good job, Gabe. I know your key words, your 2-in-1 were burn and bake. Now, friends, I'm sure that you can come up with your own 2, 3, or even 4-in-1 sentence. Now it's time for us to review today's lesson.
Carol, remember our party last weekend? I really liked your dish.
Oh, my sweet and sour hot dogs.
Yes. How do you make them?
They're easy. You just need 3 ingredients: grape jam, mustard, and hot dogs.
What? Really?
Yes, you mix the jam and mustard in a pot on the stove.
Do you boil it?
No, just make it hot.
Good. I often burn things when I boil them.
I do too.
Okay, so what do you do after the jam and mustard are hot?
Just put in the hot dogs and mix.
Great. That is easy.
You could also mix everything together first, then put it in the microwave for a few minutes.
That's even easier.
You brought some dumplings to the party. They were delicious.
Oh, thanks.
how did you make them? Did you fry them in a wok?
No.
Did you steam them?
No, I didn't.
Did you bake them? Can you bake dumplings?
No, I don't think so.
Well, how did you make them?
I didn't make them. My mom did. Hello， 大家好，我是 Christina。今天 Lily 还有 Carol 讲起了上个周末的 party。Lily 说 ，Carol, remember our party last weekend？ 记得上周末的派对吗？我们用中文在跟人聊天的时候，常常会说，还记得去年的圣诞节吗？ Remember last Christmas？ 或者还记得我们上次去他家吗？ Remember we went to his house last time？ 这些问话在口语中就可以用这个 remember 做开头。这种非正式的口语说法，因为是在提问，所以最后的语调记得要提高。而且是因为问别人还记不记得过去发生的事，所以如果有动词的话，一定要用过去式。Remember we went to his house last time? Carol 教 Lily 怎么做菜 ，Lily 听完了觉得很简单，她说 That is easy。注意这里的 is 有强调语气 ，That is easy， 重音放在 is。后来 Carol 说，其实可以把所有东西都拌好，直接放到微波炉里，然后加热。Lily 听了觉得那就更简单了 ，That's even easier。请注意形容词 easy 变成比较级，是去掉字尾的 y， 加上 ier， 变成 easier。Easy 是简单 ，easier 是比较简单，更简单，加上 even。Even easier， 有强调的语气。我们再看其他的例子，比如说我个子很小 ，I am small。我姐姐个子更小 ，But my sister is even smaller。我家很大 ，My house is big。但是他们的家更大 ，But their house is even bigger。Carol 很喜欢 Lily 带去聚餐的饺子。所以他想问 Lily 这道饺子的做法。Carol 连续问了3个句型相同的问句。Did you fry them？ 是煎的吗 ？Did you steam them？ 是蒸的吗 ？Did you bake them？ 是烤的吗？所以我们来复习一下今天学了这3个动词描述料理食物的方式。Fry 是煎 ，steam 是蒸。Bake 是烤，另外还有 boil 是煮。Fry, steam, bake, and boil。讲到烹饪的时候，这些基本的动词要学会哦。今天我们学了好几个句型，记得找机会造句练习一下哦。
Hi everyone, I'm Jim.
And I'm Tim. We're
The Word Brothers.
We are similar.
But very different.
Yes, just like some English words.
Right. For example, two, T-W-O.
And two, T-O-O.
These 2 words sound similar.
But they are very different.
Two, T-W-O is a number. 1 plus 1 equals 2.
Yes, very good. Hey, Jim, how many hands do you have?
How many hands do I have? 2. 1, 2.
Oh, yeah. And how many eyes do you have?
2.
And how many ears do you have?
2.
And how many brothers do you have?
2. Wait. I mean 1.
Right. You have 1 brother, me. And I have 1 brother too.
Right, 2. T-O-O, not 2. T-W-O. 2, T-O-O means also.
Yes, also. Jim has 1 brother. I have 1 brother also.
I like ice cream. Tim likes ice cream too.
Oh, I do. I also like ice cream. I like it too. Hey, Jim, let's go get some ice cream.
Good idea. Well, friends, 2
And 2. Do you see the difference?
Good. Until next time, this is Jim.
And Tim saying
Goodbye.
Calendar phrase. How do you make them?
How do you make them?
你怎么做?
I love to cook. I can make buns.
How do you make them?
I bake them in the oven. I can make dumplings too.
How do you make them?
I boil them in a pot. And I can make cookies.
How do you make them?
I burn them. Do you want one?
No thanks. Ugh.
How do you make them?
How do you make them?
你怎么做?
Let's answer it. Here is question number 1. What do you do first when you make sweet and sour hot dogs? What do you do first when you make sweet and sour hot dogs? Now, do you know the answer? Let's see if Gabe knows the answer.
What do you do first? The answer was in conversation A. You mix jam and mustard in a pot on the stove. That's right. That's what you do first. Now here's question number 2. What dish do you want to make? Why? What dish do you want to make and why? Well, I know Andrea makes delicious dishes. Let's ask her this question.
Well, I want to make a dish called mapo tofu, or spicy tofu. Now, I enjoy this dish. I usually eat it when I'm at a restaurant, but I want to make it. I want to learn how to make it so I can eat it at home.
Well, I want to try Andrea's mapo tofu. I'm sure it will be delicious. Well, friends, what dish do you want to make? Talk about it in English. For right now, we need to say goodbye, but we will see you next time right here on
Let's Talk in English. Goodbye.